just go ahead and talk about Giannis and the Bucks. Jimmy G Butler, he willed his team to a win. Honestly, quite amazing performance. Go ahead, Sheldon. What's your thoughts about it? What happened?
The Bucks collapsed. Like you don't. They had double digit leads in the last two games, in games 4 and 5. They had double digit leads going into the fourth quarter, and Jimmy Butler just basically said, "I'm going to take over. I'm going to take over this game. I'm willing my team to a victory," and the Bucks couldn't withstand him. I don't know how you just let one guy just go off. You don't have Tyler Hero. Victor Oladipo gets hurt, and he gets hurt in game three. You would think like that's a blow to them, but for Jimmy Butler to will his team back, it shows something. And then on another podcast, they said, is Jimmy Butler one of the best playoff performers of our generation? I thought about it for a minute, and then I was like, I don't know. But then you have to think about it. It's like it's not far fetched that he might be one of the best playoff performers of our generation. I'm not saying the greatest, one of the greatest ever, but just of this generation. And it's an argument, bruh. He averaged like 23 points in the regular season. He jumps up to 36 on 61% shooting. That's crazy. I don't care. That's crazy. To average that many points in a playoff game in a playoff series is just crazy. And for the Bucks, it's a failure. I said it last week. Like I don't care. I don't. Giannis, he goes up to the podium and says that in sports everybody fails. He has a point there. Everybody doesn't win, but when you are the overwhelming favorites, not just in the East, but in the league, coming into the season, going into the playoffs, you have the best record in the NBA, and you just lost to basically a play-in team that lost the first game. We was all shocked when they lost, when the Hawks beat them in the play-in, because we all thought that he was going to win. Then they scratched out a victory against the Bulls when Jimmy Butler had to play good, and you lost to them in 5 games. Yes, Giannis. And hey, maybe him falling on the ground, that maybe made a difference. But you don't lose to the eighth seed. The season's a failure, bro. I know we want to give Giannis this pass because we all like Giannis. Giannis is a good guy, but I'm not going for that, bro. You failed this season, and it's gonna be they gonna do something this offseason. It's a failure.
Well, well, you said a lot. I definitely I think I agree about the part with the Bucks collapsing. I do think the Bucks collapsed. Man, they just didn't look good. A lot of them just didn't look like they wanted it. Jimmy, honestly, back when they were in Miami and he dropped like 58 and almost went for 60, I just feel like that game right there, that was supposed to have been the last time we seen him do that. And that I thought the Bucks should have been doubling him from the jump. Just treat him like Joel. Just double him from the jump. Don't let him get going. Don't let him anything happen. And it didn't. It didn't. I mean, I think Mike Budenhauser, I think we all knew he was going to be out of a job soon. I think Giannis went in the ring, and I think they won in like 2021. That gave him cushion. But now for sure, I think we know he's out of a job. I think they don't. I know I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Chris Middleton is a free agent this summer, right?
He has a
Player
player. I think he
option.
has a no. I think he has a player option. Him and Drew Holiday for the next year, not this coming up, but the year after next.
Yeah, when I looked at it, I thought
I
he'd be
think
coming up in free agency. But I think it's time to not blow it up, but I think it's time to change a few things around because I think Drew Holiday contract and Chris Middleton contract, I think it's getting to the point where it's like, we might have to change a few things around to fit for Giannis, and Giannis just has to say to himself, Giannis doesn't have to change much, just like what people said, Shaq Kenny and them said. He just needs to make a few
sorry for
adjustments.
cutting you off. He has a player option for this coming up year.
Chris
So
Middleton.
for 40 million.
Yeah, Chris Middleton, right?
Yes, and he's 32.
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly. I think so. His age and I think that's probably like his last. That was his last big payday. getting a max contract. I think he was from the second round. But I'll just say like the Bucks, yeah, they blew it, man. They blew it. They blew it. They blew it. But I think though Giannis, if he would have played, because he missed 3 games. Giannis missed 3 games.
Missed 2. Well, yeah, 3, I guess, if you count 1. Yeah, okay, I'll give
Yeah,
you that. Yeah,
I
he
think what
missed 3,
he
basically. He
played
missed
like what the
3.
first
10
six
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
I give you that. Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
So I would say if Giannis doesn't miss those first 3 games, it's a different series. It's a different series. But I think though, honestly, in that game when he came back, he wasn't 100%. I don't know what happened to his foot, but he was hobbling a lot. He was doing a lot of hobbling. And I think that's just the person that he is, the grit, the grind. But I think it's a different series if Giannis is there and he plays. But just like I said last week, just the bigger picture of basketball, I don't think it's a failure. I don't think what they did was a failure at all. So I think Giannis, his speech was amazing. It was just spot on about just like what success looks like. I mean, I think you get it. Like you can't win every year, so that doesn't mean you're a failure. No, I think what most people are saying, like it's just a disappointment. It's a letdown. But to say it's a failure, to say that you didn't do anything at all, that's a disservice to hard work. That's a disservice to hard work and consistency.
I mean, you can say he didn't fail, I guess, but as a team, they failed. You was the best. You was the best team in the league, and even when they came back and won game 2, I was like, man, if Giannis doesn't play, they still have a chance. I mean, I thought they at least could beat the Heat still, even if he doesn't come back. They lose game 3, fine. He comes back game 4, double-digit lead, like I said, and somehow you lose. You gotta take the ball out Jimmy Butler's hands. You can't let him cook you like that. I'm gonna let Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, whoever else on that team, to hit shots. If they hit their shots, hey man, they just hit. But I'm not letting Jimmy Butler just out there cook me for 56. And he did the same thing in game 5. You're up a double-digit lead. You're the number 1 seed, bro.
I don't know.
To be that and to lose in the first round, not the second, not the third, not the finals. No one on this planet had the Heat winning besides Heat fans and the Miami Heat team. That's it.
Yeah, just like I was saying, I don't agree. It's not a failure. It's not a failure at all. Nothing changes about what you said. Even trying to say like, yeah, you could say Giannis didn't fail. You could say the team did. It's not a failure. It's not a failure at all. It's a bad narrative. It's a bad narrative that fans and the media sphere puts around sports. Like it's not a failure. It's a disappointment. It's a letdown. But what they did a lot of great things. And I think honestly it just goes on to just show the lack of respect for the regular season. The regular season is an 82-game season. That's a long season. That's a lot of stretches of basketball. That's 20 professional basketball games a month. I don't think you turn around and you say to the team that had the best overall record in the NBA that you guys failed. Because it's a disservice to the teams that the other teams you play against, the competition. That's what sports is. The best team doesn't always win. The better player isn't always ranked higher. Yeah, you're a better player than him, but he's playing better than you. He's outplaying than you. There are a lot of guys that are more talented than starters, but that don't mean that they play their role better. Like I can look, we'll say the argument between Josh Hart and Maxey. People are gonna say Maxey's the better talent, but Josh Hart outplays him. Josh Hart, the way he plays basketball, he outplays his talent. The talent of these players don't always put them above someone when it comes down to on the paper, on the court, doing it. And I think that's just what sports is. It's like if the better person, the better team always won, gambling wouldn't really exist. It wouldn't be a gamble. And I think with that, it's like you can't say it's a failure because there's a bigger picture to it, especially as fans. We have to do the due diligence to say that it's bigger than one season. It's bigger than 2, 3. You have to look at it in the grand scheme of things. So because Derrick Rose never won a ring, is he a failure? LeBron James, when he went down to Miami, he didn't win 5 rings. Was it a failure? It's not. I think it's just a lazy narrative that we have to just do better work just addressing these things. Like, it's not a failure. I think it's a cheap answer. It's a really, really cheap answer. We have to say more than that. There's no way. He has high expectations. The ceiling is high. The ceiling is very high for him. And for him to not, to him, still top 3 MVP, top 3 MVP, best record overall, didn't win a ring this year. He's a failure? Come on, man.
No, Shondell, no. You not getting it. If he goes to the finals or conference finals and they lose, okay, that's fine. But to say, just like I said last week about the Suns, if he lost in the first round, what was the Milwaukee Bucks goal this year?
The same as every other team.
Be for real, bro.
The same as every other team.
No, be for real. Be for real.
I am for real with you.
No. So you think the Orlando Magic goal was to win the championship this year? Be for real.
The Orlando Magic, let me say this. So you want me to change my answers to better fit you? I'll say this to you. I'll make my answer a little bit more direct and a little bit more encompassing for you. Every team that made the playoff goal is to win the championship. You're 16 wins away. Their goal, the number 1 seed that to the 10th seed, all their goal is the same, to win a championship.
And they failed. They failed this year. This year they failed. You got bounced in the first. It's just like people. Different teams have different goals. The Kings' goal was not to win a championship this year, and I bet they wasn't. But like you said, they was gonna go to the playoffs. And I said, even in the summertime, I was like, I think you asked, you was like, so what's the goal for the Kings? I said, just at least be competitive in the first round, and that's a successful season for them. What are they doing right now? Successful. They're being competitive in the first round with the Golden State Warriors. And if they lose tomorrow, I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they won't. But if they lose, I mean, it's a successful season. They broke the little long curse. They went to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. Being competitive first round with the Warriors, successful season. Milwaukee Bucks. When you have Giannis on your team, the best player in the world, your goal is to win a championship. And to get bounced in the first round, you failed this season. No one's saying he's failed his career, but this season, the 2022-2023 season, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks failed. And that's just true.
No, that's you true. Can't. See, that's the thing. You're saying I'm not getting it, but it's really you. Like, it's you and it's many other. No, it's you. It's you and many other fans, and it's you and many other journalists. Okay. You can't keep giving a cheap statement like that. Oh, you failed this year, but you're not a failure overall. The word failure is a heavy title to put above someone. Sheldon, you graduated college. If we be like, oh, but sophomore year you got an F on this test, I guess college was a waste overall. You should say, man, it was setbacks, it was things that happened. And I think after this speech, you should be careful to put failure over anything. Yes, he's the best in the world. He's the top of the top. Because he didn't achieve the top of the top, that doesn't give you the right to just say, man, his season was a failure, he was a failure, his team was a failure, they failed. Literally, he's telling you and giving you a beautiful story of why not to say that. And for you to still be on the other side of the road to say that, even Shaq, who said the same things in the likes of you, said, I understand what he's saying, but for me, I say this, I say that, but I get what he's saying, I understand it, and I respect it. But for you to still choose that, it puts you on that side, you have the right to choose it, but it puts you on the other side that says you're more farther away from being in the light of understanding sports than on the right side of it. Heavy is the head that weighs the crown. He knows it. He used Michael Jordan. Bro, it's a bigger picture to it, bro. You shouldn't use that word failure. You should not use that word failure.
I'm just saying the season, brother. That's all I'm saying. He just failed this season. They didn't meet their goals. I bet on that board when they first came in the season to win the championship. You didn't win it this year. You failed this year.
Yeah, said that.
Now,
it said that.
Yes, could they win next year? Possibly. Who knows? But for this year alone, they didn't achieve their goal. They didn't. They failed, and that's just facts. I don't care what Giannis said, and we're just gonna say, it's Giannis. He's a likable guy, and I get what he said. I heard that speech, but I'm not gonna give you a pass just because you're Giannis. I'm just not gonna do that. You failed, brother, and it's okay. You should have. You missed, bruh. He played a good game because I looked. I was like, damn, 30 ain't 20. But then when I looked at them free throws, I said, bro, you missed too many free throws. You can't be missing them. Like if you at least hit half, y'all probably win the game. He didn't even want the ball. He should have stuck Jimmy. And there was a quote saying he said that Mike Budenholzer to basically said like I don't want you to stick Jimmy Butler. Bro, you better say forget that, bro. You better go and stick him. You're a defensive player of the year. You're the best player. You guys are one of the best defensive teams, and you lost to a play-in team at that. It's a failure, and I'm just gonna end it at that.